Hey, what's up, Internet? So, today we're looking at OSPF NSSA and full reachability. So I wrote a task to kind of dive into one of the weird issues that you might see, especially on version 5 in lab. We have some new code out that can hinder full reachability in certain circumstances. And I've tried my best to create said circumstance for you. So the actual task is written right here. It says R3 and R4 are redistributing a number of loopbacks into the network. R3 is NSSA router. Configure R3 to advertise loopbacks 6, 7, 12, and 13 as a single summary. This summary must be seen throughout the OSPF domain, but should not hinder full reachability. When the task is complete, all loopbacks should be reachable from all routers. So I'm thinking about how I worded this, and I might reword that a little bit. That's okay. So that wording there might be a little bit misleading now that I'm thinking about it, but I don't care. I mean, I still want to show off how this works. So I have a couple of restrictions. Area 13 must be NSSA. Each router can only have a single OSPF process. No additional interfaces. Only loopback 0 can be advertised via network statement. Everything else has to be redistributed in, or all the loopbacks rather have to be redistributed in, and no static routes. So if that was too fast for you, that's why I'm linking to the blog. You can read. So we're going to look at the picture real quick. We have a pretty small OSPF topology. R3 is an NSSA only router, R1 is our ABR, and then everything else is in area 0, less these loopbacks that are being redistributed in. So we can jump on router 3 really quick and do a show run section router OSPF, and to show the route map off that we're calling right here for redistributing our loopbacks. We'll look at this route map. You can see route map is matching loopbacks 6, 7, 12, and 13. Here's the problem. If I do a show IP route OSPF, which was above 2, you can see all the inter-area routes, but we're not getting any of these loopbacks from router 4 because they're external. And remember, with your NSSA areas, external LSAs are not advertised into an NSSA area. We can confirm that by looking at router 1, do show IP routes, OSPF, and sure enough, 8, 9, 10, 11 subnets are all being learned here, and we're seeing these as a type E2. And again, loopbacks 8, 9, 10, 11 from router 4. And then our summary is not up yet. You can tell that because we have these N2 externals coming from router 3. So one of the task items was that this has to be a single summary. I'm actually going to tackle that next. I want to get full reachability first. So to get full reachability inside your NSSA area, we'll do a show run section router OSPF, just so I can copy and paste stuff. The router OSPF 1, area 13, we're going to do default information originate. This will inject a default route into our NSSA area. Do a show IP route OSPF again. And hey, look at that. We have a default route out via R1. We can do a show IP Ceph to reach 172.31.8.2. That's loopback 8 hosted on router 4. And you can see the next hop is going out Ethernet 00 with the next hop address of router 1. And we can ping that just fine. We can even ping it sourcing from one of our loopbacks, like loopback 7. Everything works fine. We're all good. Now, when we make this summary, it's going to break everything. Well, not everything, but it's going to break full reachability from R3's perspective. And we're going to see why. So let's go into our global config here. We'll do router OSPF 1. So if you're doing a summary address in between areas off of your ABR, the syntax is area blah 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 range. So, you know, if this was on router 1, it'd be area 13 range. That's how you do summaries in between areas. Now, if you want to summarize external routes, the syntax is just summary address. So we're going to do summary address 172.31, and if we want this to be a single route advertisement, the summary has to encompass loopback 6, 7, 12, and 13. Those of you paying attention will instantly notice that any summary address that we come up with will overlap with these addresses. And we're going to see why that's a problem in just a second. Not because I'm super smart, but because I did this before I recorded. I know that this is a /20 that we have to create here. And there we go, summary address, and it has a /20 mask. You can see that we can throw on additional modifications to the summary address, but nothing really noteworthy for this video. All right. So I'm just going to drop out of here, and I'll do a show IP route OSPF here. We still have our default route. All that looks good. We'll jump onto router 1. We'll do show IP route OSPF. Make sure that we only see a single N2 route, and we do. Good. So we did have a summary that encompassed all 4 loopbacks. We're looking great, right? Well, here's the problem. I'm just going to do a show IP Ceph to try and reach loopback 8 on router 4 again. Oh, that's a ping. Well, even better. So you can see that we can't ping. Let's actually look at our Ceph table for it now. You can see that it's routing out via null 0 because of the /20 that we just created. Oh no, full reachability is broken. We can't hit any external routes off of R4. So that's part 2 and how we're going to fix that. You actually have a couple different options. For those of you not familiar, whenever your router creates dynamically and injects a route into your routing table that goes to null 0 based on a summary address, that's called a discard route. Remember that. Discard route. So what we can do is you can either set the discard route to have an administrative distance of 255. Remember, any route that has an administrative distance of 255, your router instantly considers it unusable, and we wouldn't use it locally. So we could do that. We could do discard route. This is an external discard route that was created, and you can set your administrative distance to 255. If we do a show IP Ceph now, you can see that we're not taking the discard route path anymore. And we can ping the loop back on router 4. Your other option, let's say discard route has an administrative distance of 1. You can see that that breaks it again. Your other option that I didn't know was an option until like 20 minutes ago, you can do no discard route. I wonder if you can just, I actually don't know if you can do it globally or not. Yes! So you could just disable the OSPF process's ability to create discard routes, and that'll achieve the same end. So now you can see that we have not created a discard route, but on R1 we still have that single summary. Over on R4 we still have a single summary address to reach the loopbacks on router 3. So there you go. It was two-part solution. The first part, very, very easy. You just had to get a default route being originated from R1 into your NSSA area. And then part 2 is when you create your summary address, since the summary overlapped with other networks, and we didn't want that to interfere with our reachability. You either had to set your administrative distance on your discard route to be 255, thereby declaring it unusable, or just completely disable discard route altogether. Pretty short video, I know, and pretty short task, but I thought it was a relatively interesting one since I don't remember discard routes being a huge issue in earlier code, at least within OSPF. It's always been kind of a deal with EIGRP. And maybe that'll be the next one, is looking at discard routes in the EIGRP. Who knows? It depends on what I feel like making. Don't pressure me.